What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1, and thanks for joining us. Today's episode, we're gonna talk about Shinji again, because we have two people who have seen it who did not get to speak on our previous podcast. They just saw it this week. That's G95, aka Shin Matt. What's up, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Very good, very good. And also, someone who saw it this past week is Lindsay. Lindsay, you were on our podcast last week hearing how we spieled about it without seeing it. Now you've seen it. You get to talk about it this week. How you doing?
Doing good. I can't wait to speak my mind.
Yeah. Joining us again, we've got JR. What's going on, brother?
Hello.
And, of course, rounding out my panel, we've got Chase, a.k.a. G73. What's up, my brother?
It's going good.
All right, well, let's get, before we start, let's get some news going. G73, you're going to ramble off some news, because some news did pop off. Starting with the Shinji news that happened for, those of us in the Americas. Go for broke.
So the Shin Godzilla news, Funimation announced that Shin Godzilla would have an extended run for one more week. At first, it was really exciting for me because they said it would be shown through the 27th. Well, it turns out that is not necessarily true. It's only going to be shown through the 27th. Well, at first, it was going to have it has a Saturday matinee, which is today, and then select theaters, about 200 and some on theaters, are going to be showing it till the 27th. Well, I was excited because I read this article, and one of the theaters, when I'm up in Sacramento next week, was showing it. Well, I read the article wrong because the article was having some not, let's say, true statements. And it turns out that my theater that I was excited about is only going to be showing it for the matinee. Now, however, underneath on an updated article, there was a list for the theater showing it in the 27th. And it's only like 4 theaters in California are showing it extendedly to the 27th. So that's kind of a bummer. But everywhere else, in other states across the United States, they'll be having it. I believe Canada has the extended run as well, but I'm not too sure entirely. But that was the news on the Shin Godzilla extended run.
Before we go on, quick question, show of hands or voices. Who's going to see it again before it's out? G95?
I'm going to try to, but I haven't actually looked if it's playing in Minnesota or not.
Gotcha. Lindsay?
From my theater, it's not playing, and even if I did want to go see it again, I wouldn't be able to because I'm busy with my university stuff. So,
gotcha.
Kind of bummed there.
Yeah, JR.
I don't know if it's playing here, but if it was, I'm too busy.
Gotcha. G73.
I wanted to go see it because my Godzilla friend who lives in Sacramento that I grew up going to school with. He would go see it with me, and I would definitely go see it with him just for the shit of it. But now that it turns out that it's not going to be there, there's no chance unless it comes out digitally soon, but that might be a few months. We'll see.
Gotcha. I'm not going to go see it again. But what about you guys out there in G-Show land? Y'all going to go see it again? Leave a comment down below. What's the next bit of news, Chase?
And the next bit of news has me entirely excited. There has been some Godzilla 2 news, very confusing Godzilla 2 news. The writers of Trick or Treat and Krampus, Michael Dougherty, and I don't know the other guy's name. G95 may know the other guy's name, but I'm not too sure. Was that?
Zach Shields.
Zach Shields. They have taken the role of writing the script for Godzilla 2, and they're sitting down to help brainstorm how they can expand this Godzilla universe and tie them all together for the big showdown in 2020 of Godzilla versus Kong. Well, the other bit of news was it was said that Michael Dougherty would direct Godzilla 2. But that has been kind of proven that it may not be true necessarily. Some articles now are coming out saying that he's in talks to directing it. This one guy on Twitter, I don't know his history or background, but his name was Umberto something.
I know that he's El Miambe.
Huh?
Is it El Miambe? Because that's like the only Umberto I know that usually has scoops in genre films.
It could be him, but I don't personally know his background. So what he said was that it was entirely false, and that he and some of his friends reached out to Legendary and asked them exclusively, and they said it is false, and that they're only in talks for writing the script right now. Now, however, in the world how it works today, that could be true, or it could be just Legendary telling the guy to pretty much just to blow him off, that it's not happening. But however, I don't know for sure. None of us know for sure, but at least for now, we at least have something solidified, and that is Godzilla 2 has 2 script writers, and they're most famous for Trick or Treat and Krampus.
I think it's also worth noting that Michael Dougherty wrote X-Men 2, which is arguably the best X-Men movie.
The best X-Men movie.
I didn't know that, and that's great.
He also wrote Superman Returns, so take from that what you will.
Okay, the best X-Men movie to the worst Superman movie. That's right.
Really? Worse than Quest for Peace?
Quest for Peace. Hey, I'll tell you right now. It's like with Godzilla movies. There's certain things you see at a certain age that just sticks with you forever. And I saw Quest for Peace in the movie theater, and it was an experience. Yes, that movie sucks. No, I don't hate it. So that's my Quest for Peace.
I got one little small thing to say before we move on. Kong Skull Island has some news going on. They're just setting more forward. Apparently a trailer is going to be coming out in November. So we got to keep an eye on that. They just put out a new Twitter page for Monarch, and Monarch has this viral website now for the Kong Skull Island film, and there's this terameter that's at 40% right now, and when it reaches 100, that should be the word on the street is that's when we should get a trailer. But they put out a new website yesterday, and it's supposed to be the actual source where they're going to be posting all of the news for the movie from now on.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool.
All right, well, let's start dissecting first off the Godzilla 2 news. Lindsay, you have anything to say about that? What's your excitement levels for it?
I'm excited. Before I saw the Kong Skull Island trailer, I wasn't really excited, but after I saw it, I'm hyped for it. I can't believe I'm living in a time where all my favorite kaijus are coming to the big screen. I get to go watch it. I don't know. I just find that really special, so I'm excited.
Oh, I agree with you. JR, what about you? We're talking about the news from Godzilla 2, the writers. What's your excitement level about? What's your excitement level? Yeah, about. That's right.
Hit and miss, because, those, I watched X-Men 2. It was a good movie. Superman Returns Blue. Krampus I thought was really good. Trick or Treat was hit and miss with me, so I have a feeling it's going to be a very dark Godzilla movie, which 2014 should have been a little bit more. But without a solid knowledge of a director, they can write the best screenplay and the best script, solid story and everything, but without a good director, this movie could be complete shit. So, I'm holding back.
Gotcha. G95, what about you?
Well, I've been a huge fan of Michael Dougherty for years. As I said, X-Men 2, best X-Men movie ever.
Yes.
Don't care what anybody says about that. I never did see Superman Returns. I don't really care to, and I feel like I'm probably not missing that much. But Trick or Treat is one of my favorite Halloween movies ever. Just favorite movies ever. I thought he did a great job writing and directing that. And I watched it every single year for Halloween. And I loved Krampus, too, a lot. So If he's a driving force behind Godzilla 2, I'm sure it's going to be in good hands.
Good. I've only seen, I know it's bad, I've not seen Trick or Treat nor Krampus, but I have seen Superman Returns and I have seen X-Men 2. And X-Men 2 gives me high hopes for Godzilla 2. Now, I'm just going to leave it at that. And whether or not we hear anything about a director, if it's going to be confirmed, or if I don't see Legendary, if this came out and in the news was this man is directing the movie, I don't see Legendary trying to pull that back and like, no, don't announce that. Yeah, I just can't see that, because honestly, he's genre, and he's like Gareth Edwards. He wasn't really known until Godzilla 2. Until Godzilla, and now he's doing Star Wars. And I'm not saying that. What's his name that they said might be directing, the writer? Doherty?
Michael Doherty.
I'm not saying Michael Doherty isn't a well-known name within the genre community, but outside of that, because I honestly have no idea who he was, and since you just said he wrote X-Men 2, I was like, okay, never mind, all right. I should know who he is. But I have high hopes for the movie, how to expand the universe. Listen, they can't go back and renege on Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. That would be a slap in the face to G fans. So somehow I'm still hoping that we get to see that, because they announced it.
And also on note, Michael Doherty claims to be a Godzilla fan, so that could be a benefit.
That's cool.
Part of kind of hopes that he doesn't get the directing job, just so he can focus on Trick or Treat 2 finally. And we've been waiting for that for 10 years now.
I don't know. Listen, what's more high profile, Godzilla 2 or Trick or Treat 2?
They're about 50-50 for me.
For you.
You underestimate how much I loved the first Trick or Treat.
I totally get it, but the money's at Godzilla. You know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we wrapped that segment up. Anybody want to say anything about
Get my final thoughts.
Can you give your final thoughts during the newscast? No, go ahead, G73.
Yeah. I'm kind of keeping my hype at bay, because with them saying that it might not be true, I don't want to get too excited. But I saw Krampus. I did not see Trick or Treat yet. I saw the beginning of it, and then I had to leave where I was at. But I saw Krampus, and Krampus was a pretty good Christmas horror flick. The ending of that movie really tripped me out. But that's where I'm excited, because if he does get the directing job, I expect that where Gareth Edwards failed on making a dark tone Godzilla flick, this is where Michael Doherty will prevail in that aspect. And I guess also another thing is that China came out and pretty much said that Godzilla 2 will be filming in a gigantic studio in China that they have made, and it's like a 408-acre plot of land, studio, and they said that Godzilla 2 and Pacific Rim 2 are supposed to be really loud films, that they have this ability now. So that's kind of exciting, but I just wanted to add that, because that was also news that came out that kind of started the Godzilla 2 news.
Yeah, definitely. The Wanda Studios, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I cannot wait to get to that G14 podcast that we're going to do, because some of y'all are wrong. That's all I'm saying. Some of y'all are absolutely wrong. That movie was a breath of fresh air. Anyhow, on to the topic. Before we get to the topic, let me jump and say, Lindsay, Matt, y'all saw Shinji. It's your turn to talk about it. Non-spoilers. I want to start with you, Lindsay. Ladies first. No offense, Matt. You'll get your shot. So, Lindsay, you have seen it the most recent out of all of us. What, Wednesday, correct?
Yep.
Tell us, how did you feel when you came out of that theater?
Oh, it's almost impossible to describe in words. I just left so happy of what I saw, because what Anno did I'm going to use your words right now.
Yeah.
It was a breath of fresh air for me. I just loved the direction he went with, Godzilla's origin and how there's two sides to, the people, to Godzilla, to the government, and to outside foreign powers. I just thought it was really well done. To me, it didn't drag. I was totally invested with the characters. I cared about the characters. The cinematography was fantastic. The only problem I had with it, and I know the CGI was fantastic for Japan, because in my theater, people were laughing at certain scenes of the film, and
Yes.
I just wanted to tell them to shut up because I was so mad. Some scenes in the movie you could tell looked unfinished for the CGI, but in terms of the movement and the motion capture, they perfectly captured how a man in a suit would act in this film and CGI. So I just thought it was absolutely incredible.
Nice. Wow, jeez. I like it. G95, you have seen Godzilla, Shin Godzilla finally.
I have.
You stayed away from all the spoilers. You stayed off of the podcast, but you're back, and you've seen it. Your verdict.
It was fucking amazing. I loved it. I thought, as someone who's a really big fan of Evangelion, I could definitely see his influence on his creative side that he put into Evangelion, that he put into Godzilla. Godzilla kind of acted like an angel a bit in some scenes, and it was overall just a fantastic movie. Like Lindsay said, the special effects were at times a little bit lackluster for Japan. Some parts were a little campy almost, but that didn't. I don't know. I got over it. I thought it was this is one of the first times I think where we feel like the audience has seen kind of what goes on behind the scenes of what happens when Godzilla shows up. It's, other movies, it's like, all right, well, we got to launch the military attack right now. We got to stop this thing, and we got to figure it out. And this movie is kind of going a little bit deeper and like, all right, how do we stop this creature? What's the process of stopping it from a bureaucratic standpoint almost? And it was interesting to see like that kind of behind the scenes look. I loved the action. I liked the characters. I liked the messages that the movie sent. I liked just the pacing was really good. It was cinematography is amazing. I definitely think it's one of the best filmed Godzilla movies like ever.
Wow. You're wrong.
Hey, this is my time.
I'm sorry.
I'll defend you, Matt. It's okay.
No.
Say that out loud.
I totally agree with one of the best. But I don't know. But that's the topic of the conversation. We're gonna jump into that. But go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
But yeah. I just I loved everything about it. I thought it was creepy and weird and disturbing at times. It was funny when it needed to be. I guess the only complaint I had was it was, I don't know, a little bit too wordy at some points, I think.
Right.
It is a subbed movie as of right now, and there's times that we're just, I guess, bombarded with the subtitles. Not so much with like people talking, but there was, every new character had their own little introduction, like their character's name and what the character did and stuff. So and if they were talking, so there's subtitles on the bottom of the screen, and then on the top of the screen above the Japanese subtitles, like explaining what this person does. It's just kind of like and even at times subtitles on the sides when there's American characters speaking.
Yeah. And
It's
also,
weird.
and don't forget,
Like,
that same room of floor 4. that was the star of the movie. That fourth floor, star of the movie.
It was at times a bombardment of reading and information. It was just hard to take in this brief seconds you had to read it. So that was my one real complaint about the movie. I will say that I don't have a problem with subtitles. I watch stuff that has subtitles. I don't mind them, but like that was almost a bit too much. It has nothing to do with the dialogue. It's just there's too much shit on the screen to read at once. It's like you watch CNN. There's stuff on the bottom and on the sides, and there's like captions fucking everywhere, and that's what it felt like at times. I don't know if that was necessarily intentional, but that was the vibe that I got.
Yeah, I got you with that. I seen it for the second time. Going in, I knew I don't have to read the top subtitles anymore. I could just focus solely on the bottom subtitles, which was better in my second time around. I think, and this is something I was telling my wife about this. When I saw it the first time, it was myself, my brother, and my daughter. Now, I didn't know how my daughter was going to react to this movie, and when it started and it kept going, because I didn't know the whole plot. I just knew certain scenes, the spoiler scenes, and I was like, oh, God. But I went with my daughter, and with the subtitles, she knew going in there was going to be subtitles. What we did not know was how politically charged this movie was, how much of a political drama it was as opposed to a Godzilla film. So the first time I seen it, I think I was worried more about, wow, I took my daughter to see this, and she didn't, this is so boring. She didn't do any of that to her, so props to her on that. She sat there, she watched it at the end. She was like, Dad, I won't see that again. Fine with me. You saw it once. That's all I need. But I think I was more worried about how she was feeling during the movie the first time around, whereas the second time I went by myself. Theater was packed. I loved it. I was like, holy crap. And I got to just sit down, watch the movie, and really zone in on the movie. And again, read the dialogue and just go with it. Coming out of the theater, I still felt the same way. It was a little bit better, but I still, I still felt the same way. I still came out of that movie not disappointed, but like meh, blah. That's what it is. I totally get the like your enthusiasm for the film, the story, the behind the scenes. Pretty much, I guess for me, is watching this movie, I was missing sort of some of the standard characters in a Godzilla movie. I was missing, a scientist that's prominently featured in the movie. And don't get me wrong, they had the biologist there, and I love that character. I thought he was cool, but he wasn't on screen enough. I would have loved to see him, like Professor Yamane, get into his head and what is he thinking about this creature. They didn't show much of him. The military, I mean, it's a standard in a Godzilla movie. You have to have the military. The action sequences in this movie off the charts. But I wanted the generals. I don't know. That's just me, and I guess that's just because for 20 some odd movies we've had pretty much a steady flow of the same characters, and then this one, Anno just completely says, "Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to go behind the scenes and deal with the government," and which was cool. But I think for me, it was just a little. It was more like Godzilla the political drama instead of a Godzilla movie. That's just how I felt. And if I want to watch political dramas, I'd watch political dramas, or I'll watch CNN. But that's But props to you, kudos to y'all for enjoying it, because that gives us more fun in our spoiler podcast when we are cursing each other out left and right. I know JR is looking forward to that one.
No, I won't curse you guys out. I respect your guys' opinions. I'll just say you're wrong.
You're wrong. Oh, hey,
you're wrong, but I love you.
I love you, though.
Exactly.
All right, so Matt enjoyed it. Lindsay enjoyed it. I am happy y'all enjoyed it. I figured as much. Even though Lindsay had to sit in that last podcast and hear us bash it. I am happy you went in, knowing everything you heard that
And
last
saw her
week.
roll her eyes and
Yeah, but I'm,
play with her hair.
I'm happy you went in and came out.
These guys are dumb.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, let's jump into the nitty gritty, and this is something I want to hear your guys' opinions on, and that is, and gals' opinion on, and that is, where do you think Shinji ranks among the other solo Godzilla movies? We can make a case that there's 3 other ones, but let's be for real here. There is only 2 other solo Godzilla movies. Let's say Toho produced Godzilla movies. Because if you want to count Zilla, we could, but we won't. So where does this rank? And I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna start with you, JR. Well, I know where this is going, but anyway, we'll start with you anyway. Where do you rank the 3 solo Godzilla movies that Toho has produced?
I'm going to give Shin Godzilla fairness in the franchise from watching all the films. And I didn't think of this until recently. Shin Godzilla actually reminded me, this could be my own opinion, it reminded me a lot of 1984 Godzilla. Plot-wise and everything. I was like, okay, now I kind of get it a little bit. If you kind of think of 1984, like that's what they're a little going for there. 1984 is not my favorite Godzilla film, but it is good. And buying it on Blu-ray recently and rewatching it, I was like, you know, it does stand up with the 1954 and 1984 with being a new iteration type deal. But it's just, I mean, rating 84 on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say it's a 7. 1954 is a 10. This obviously would sit at a 4. Okay. But I guess for a political Godzilla movie, it's just so hard for me to get into it, really, because, I bash on it and bash on it and bash on it, but the more I sit and think, the more I'm like, okay, all right, now I kind of understand it, which kind of made me want to go see it again, but I'd rather go see Star Wars.
I hear you.
I will leave it at this. My rating stands as a 4, but it stands up with 1984, but kind of falls flat with 1954. Oh. That's where I'll leave it.
Oh, not bad, not bad. G73, we ain't hear you for a minute. Let me hear your thoughts. Where do you rank this amongst the solo G films?
Yeah, that's the one problem with having not as many solo Godzilla films under Toho's belt as, non-solo films. It's kind of hard for me because, I mean, I don't count 1998 under Toho's bill. So it's really just 54 and 84. Well, it's almost hard for me because to me, I love 1954, but I love 1984 too. And 1984 to me is like what the direct sequel to 54 should have been. And it's almost in a way the color version of 1954 to me. So I kind of almost rank them both as the same, in my opinion. So, and, it's 1, 2, and 3, because now we got Shin Godzilla, technically, if you want to say the 3rd solo Godzilla film under Toho's belt.
It is.
I don't know where I could honestly place Shin Godzilla because I can't decide which one of 1954 or 84 is my favorite because I love them each of their own, on so many different things. It's like I don't have to choose would I rather watch 84 or 54. It's almost like a mood thing to me. So it's kind of hard for me to place it. But if I had to, in all honesty, it would be just because of how I feel about the movie, it would be 3 on my list. I wouldn't put it above 84 or above 54. I can't do that just because how I personally felt about Shin Godzilla. But there's also that little sense pushing me that's like, well, giving in this day and age where now this film is filmed better, and we had a 54, which for what it was, I don't know. It's hard because it's such a generation gap between the films too. But I think I still stand where it's 3 behind the. It's on the bottom of solo films.
Gotcha. Lindsay, what about you? Where do you rank?
Okay, that's going to be impossible. Okay, because I equally love 1954. I equally love G84. I absolutely adore Shin Godzilla. If I could, I'd put them all together on my number one. But, I don't know. That's just difficult for me. So I don't know how to place them from 1 to 3 or not. But I'm just gonna put all 3 of them for number 1 spot.
Oh, you're cheating! Come on! I know you want to say something else.
No, it's just that.
Oh, come on! You know you would put it as number 1.
Well, no, it's difficult.
If you like,
it's
for
so difficult.
At least number 2.
Well, I don't know. It's I can't do it, honestly. I can't. I love every Godzilla movie with all my heart, no matter how terrible they are. I can't do it. I have difficulty doing a top 10 list. So I don't think I can do a top 5 or top 3. So I'm just going to say they're all number 1.
All right, fair enough. I like that politically correct answer. But now we go to G95, who I know has some strong feelings for 1984 in a positive way. We've had this conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked you the same question. How do you rank the 3 solo Godzilla movies?
Well, I see where all 3 of my other panel guests are coming from. You know, they each have their own valid points and are both, all 3 of them are right in their own way. So, I don't know. It's hard. It's just because all 3 of them have just Godzilla in it and no other monster. It's still not necessarily an apples to apples comparison because Shin Godzilla is so radically different. And I agree with what Chase says, that 84 is definitely a follow up and continuation of 54. So they're watch them back to back, even though there's a 30-year gap between them, they kind of flow as one movie more or less. It's even harder to choose because unlike JR and Chase, Lindsay and I actually really liked the movie.
I'm glad you left me out of that one. Thanks.
You haven't said your piece yet. But, well, you too, I guess. So I don't know. It's hard. I guess. I mean, not any one movie of the 3 is perfect by any means. They all have their individual flaws. They all have their, I guess, breaks in terms of the quality of effects. So it's very difficult. But I don't know. I guess I would put it at 3, just because, I don't know, it has less action than the other 2. But I don't know, it's like I said, it's not an apples to apples comparison.
Definitely ain't. It's more like a dinosaur to fish comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Because that's exactly what it is. Let's be for real here. Let's not beat around the bush. Godzilla's a fish in this movie. It's a fish. And that makes me want to.
We gotta save that for the spoiler podcast.
No, I don't think that's a spoiler. I don't think
Really?
that's a spoiler. They
Come
never.
on.
You see it. You see it. It's got googly fish eyes and it's got gills. It's a fish and no arms. I'm just saying.
14 had gills. Just saying.
14 did have gills, but it was also a fully formed Godzilla. I didn't have to see fishy head. But anyhow, it's for me. Of course, it's going to be number 3. But like JR said, the more you think about the movie, the more you say, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. But between 54 and 84, this is how I look at these movies, because for me, any day, either one could be number 1 in my book. 54 has the mood, the mood, the tone, and of course, it birthed the icon. What it lacks, and what is one of the reasons why I've always loved Godzilla movies, and I fell in love with the kaiju genre in general, is the grand destruction of 84. The military might versus Godzilla, the Super X. Now, of course, in 54, we weren't going to get any of that because, like Chase said, the difference in quality at the time of filmmaking in general, so different. Now, that being said, Godzilla, for me, the original 54, is a directorial masterpiece in my book because it is scary. The mood it sets is scary. The tone it sets, the music is placed in the right places. Everything just, it paces well. With Shinji, if I want to compare those two, Shinji's pretty much a brand new origin tale. I had a big problem where persecution of the masses was in that movie. I do not think it should have been where it was. I think that music, that composition should have came when Godzilla unleashes its full fury, because that, to me, is persecuting the masses. Because you see it. That was the biggest destruction sequence in the movie, and it was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So that bothered me. That took me out of the music. I'm talking music here. That took me out. I was thinking about this too. I'm actually glad that I have never seen Evangelion, because if I did and I fell in love with the anime, I would have known some of those musical compositions from that show that apparently were put in this movie. Being I never seen Evangelion, I'm kind of happy, because I don't like this idea of you're going to take music from your anime and put it in my Godzilla. Get out of here with that shit. No other Godzilla movie's ever done that. None. Make your own composition. You started down the right path with Persecutions of the Masses. The soundtrack is awesome. So I don't know what Evangelion's score is in Shinji, because I've never seen it, and I'm going to keep it that way, which means, unfortunately, I'm never going to watch that show. But just the thought of that would piss me off, because I want original music. It's just something. I have no problem hearing the classics in this movie, because Godzilla. That's Godzilla's music. It's like Star Wars. If you don't hear the damn even in Rogue One, if you don't hear the Imperial March at least one time, if you do or you don't, it's what it is. You understand though? That's Star Wars. This is Godzilla. So some of the music, really where it was placed, kind of threw me off with that movie. Whereas 84, the music I thought was, again, sets a tone, sets a mood. There's some really grandiose, bombastic scores in 84. Super X's theme, for instance. But other than that, I think the soundtrack as a whole in 84 really works well with that movie the way 54 did. Again, the elements for all three movies, there are elements in all three movies that really excel. The tone, the mood of the original 54 is outstanding. The special effects in Shinji, outstanding. But again, that's just due to technology and the times. Because I don't think that movie would work in 54. I really don't. 84 is a nice balance of both. Has great mood. It's just, and then it's a great balance of mood and special effects, a story. Everything comes together. But again, you flip a coin any given day, 54-1, 84-2 in my book. As of right now, I'm going to have to give it to 54, only because if it wasn't for that movie, we wouldn't have 84, and we probably still would have gotten a Shin-G. You never know, because again, brand new origin, nothing's come before it. It's a reboot in every sense of the word, whereas G84 was a soft reboot. Shin-G is a straight reboot. That thing is goodbye continuity, hello New Earth. So props to Anno on that. And yeah, that's my spiel. That is my spiel.
I gotta disagree with you. I think, except for 2 instances, all of the music in Shin-G was perfectly placed.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there was, like, it all flowed really well, kept the tone, and then there was this one, the only one that I can actually remember where I was like, that's kind of weird, was the, like, montage sequence towards the end of the movie when they were planning on trying to kick Godzilla's ass, and it was, like, kind of this
rock and roll?
Modern rock theme.
That was the Evangelion track. That was Evangelion 2.1 or whatever.
Really?
Or 2.0, something like that. I loved it.
You didn't want to know.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. I thought it was more somber music, but I got to be honest. My brother turns to me and goes, "Hey man, doesn't that remind you of Final Wars when they're in the refinery?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sort of. It does." I kind of dug that. I can't lie.
It was good music, and I haven't gotten around to seeing the second 2 Evangelion movies of the Rebirth series yet, so I'm just gonna get around to that eventually. But it felt out of place for the tone, and I'm damn sure it worked in the second Evangelion movie, but it didn't quite work there. Like, it's good music, was up my alley, but it was just that placement was a little bit odd. And that was the only time that really took me out of the movie. And the only other thing that took me out of the movie, besides a couple bad special effects moments, can say without being too spoilery, is some of the sound design. Like when the helicopters or the attack choppers are shooting at Godzilla,
right,
and it sounds like the bullets hitting his skin sound like throwing rocks at sheet metal. That God, I hated it. That was just bad sound design. But
that was intentional, though. By the way.
Yeah.
I get that. Like, he's supposed to be super strong, super tough skin, but it's like at least covered up with some kind of distortion. It's just they just recorded throwing rocks at sheet metal.
Well, that's a really good point. I actually didn't have any problem with the sound design, the sound effects. I thought it's spot on. But now that you bring that up, and I think about it, yeah, because I was like, well, Godzilla looks like a giant rock in this movie. He looks like a volcano. He literally looks like a volcano in this movie. An erupting volcano. When you see those close-up shots of its skin, it doesn't look like skin. It looks like rock. So yeah, you're right. When they're, shooting off at his face, and it does sound like, rocks on metal. It's weird. At least give us some kind of ricochet sounds, like the old school. If you're going old school, the 80s is chock full of cool ricochet gun sounds. They could have just pulled any one of them. Hell, even Biollante has some cool sound effects in the very beginning of that movie. They could have pulled that and used that for the helicopters. But that's a good point. So those were the only 2. You said 2 musical pieces, or did you mean the?
Yes, there's one more, but it's been like a week and a half since I've seen the movie and don't remember the exact scene.
I know what it is. It's Persecution of the Masses. I agree with you.
It was not Persecution of the Masses.
No, good try.
That's more of a you problem.
That honestly, that is not my biggest gripe. My biggest gripe of the movie is the look. But that is my second biggest gripe. I was just like, why waste this awesome score on this dumb thing? Oh, God.
Yeah, but...
Because the music
I do think that you're right, that Persecution of the Masses would have went well in the big destruction scene, but I think it also worked equally well in the scene that it was in already.
And now, you know what? Who said that last week? Someone did say that last week. And I do agree with that. if they would have used Persecution of the Masses the way they used the Godzilla March in other Godzilla movies, I would have had no problem whatsoever seeing it where it was, and then getting it again later on where I really wish you would have gotten that, because I hate that musical composition piece that they used for that particular scene when Godzilla Unleashes. That was the second trailer, the music. I hated that music. I was like, oh God, oh no, not after that. And then that was where it was in the movie. I was like, oh no, that's terrible. Terrible. Because Persecution of the Masses would have rocked right there. Like, just, woo, killed it. But, what can I do? I'm not Anna. I didn't direct this movie. Jump off a cliff. Anyhow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean that literally. Godzilla will catch him. He's gonna fly. So,
it's almost been an hour.
I know. I see. I'm keeping up with the Joneses. Don't worry. Yeah. So.
Make sure you haven't been drinking today.
What?
Just making sure you haven't been drinking today.
You're right. I should start.
I don't know.
So anyway, anyhow, that's my spiel. G95, good point on the bullet sounds. But anyhow, across the board, let's say what we can agree on about the movie, and we already know what we disagree on. So we heard Lindsay, we heard Matt, what they loved about this movie. Chase, do you agree with anything?
The one point that I've been kind of having on my mind for a bit is that I think that may be why I don't necessarily care for this movie that much, is because I haven't seen Evangelion. And the way that I'm hearing Lindsay and Matt talk, I feel like they know more about Evangelion than I do and have seen it. I feel like if I would have known more about Evangelion or have seen it, I think I would have enjoyed this movie a lot more.
Huh.
That's the only thing I'm going to say.
JL, what about you? Do you agree with anything they said?
I gotta say, you shouldn't have to be a fan of Evangelion to enjoy this Godzilla movie.
I agree.
It's Godzilla, it's not Evangelion.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Some of the things I can agree on, but I already had my spiel about Shin Godzilla. I'll probably do it again in spoilers, but I've calmed down a bit with it. I've thought about it, very thoroughly about it, and some of it I can agree with, but some of it I cannot. And I just don't think it's a good Godzilla movie. If it wasn't Godzilla, it'd be better, but as a Godzilla movie, no.
I got you on that. I feel the same way. So I personally don't believe it's a Godzilla movie, but that's just me personally. I do agree with this. Cinematically, absolutely gorgeous. Some of those shots of Godzilla were absolutely gorgeous. Some of the long shots, just stunning work. And you got that in the trailers, and you got it tenfold when you saw the movie. So I wish there was a little bit more of that. The directing, the characterization, some of the characters, because I still, even the second time around, I did not like the main girl, the American emissary. I could not get behind her, but I did love the other girl, the first one that came in, and she's saying everything that's going to happen, and they don't believe her, and then it happens. Like, I absolutely loved her. She was deadpan the whole time. She was as serious as what was his name? What was it? Yaguchi? What's his name? Whatever. The main character.
Yeah, I think it was Yaguchi.
I absolutely loved her. And again, it's one of those things that I said earlier. They had some really cool, strong characters. I just wish there was more of them, like, older Godzilla flicks. But, what could you do? That it's over. But yeah. So that's that for the topic. Lindsay copped out and said she has no favorites. They're all number one in her book. I'm cool with that. Matt said 54, 84 Shinji.
Sure. It can change. I don't know. I feel like my opinions on that order can change it any given time.
Yeah, we still got to get the home video. I'm sure we're all gonna get. I'm gonna buy it when it comes out. So the more viewing,
I'm gonna buy
the
it
more
and
you
send a
find.
copy to Leonard if he hasn't gotten it.
Well, keep in mind that American DVDs and Blu-rays won't work in the UK unless he has a region-free player.
Oh, I'll make sure to mention that to him then.
Yep.
Get him a PS4.
Yep.
They're region free.
And I think he has one, so he might be golden. Golden. Jr. Your ranking system again. You said you didn't like 84 as much, but 54, 84 Shinji.
Yeah.
And Chase, same thing, right?
Yes, and I feel like if we had an equal amount of solo films, I think it would be easier to place it. But because they're odd, it's an odd number, it's kind of difficult. But exactly. 54, 84 Shinji.
All right, so those are our opinions. What about yours? Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think as far as your ranking goes. We all know G98 is the greatest Godzilla movie of all time. Anyhow, burn!
Godzilla.
Yeah, the true Godzilla. Burn. Shinji is actually a sequel to 98. It's like 84, 54 type of spiel there. Okay.
Akaka.
Let's do this new thing. I wanted to do this a while back now, but I don't know. Just the conversations have kept going and going. But we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna do trivia, okay? And what we're doing here is basically, I'm gonna say whether name that movie or finish this phrase or what movie is this music from. I don't have any music queued up, so we're not gonna do that one today. But that's basically the gist of what we're doing, and we're doing it only in the kaiju cinema, okay? So, of course, Godzilla, you'll get Gamera questions. You'll get maybe Kong questions. I won't call it kaiju. I'll call it giant monsters when it comes to American ones. But the fact is, I want to see how much you guys know. I don't know it all, but what I do know is probably...
I know none of the Shala Gamera stuff.
Well, then you better get on your game and get the Blu-rays and have a good time at it. Have at it, brother.
I have them all in like 2 sets.
Then watch them.
So,
but all right. So let's jump into the trivia. I'm gonna read off something. This one, we're gonna finish the sentence and then name that movie. If you get the sentence, the movie should come. No problem. I'm not going to tell you what movie this is from, what kaiju movie this is from, but just know that it is a kaiju film. And I'm going to start with Lindsay because ladies first. Then it'll be JR, then it'll be Matt, and then it'll be G73 Chase. You guys ready?
There's a test today. They didn't tell me that.
That's a test.
I already had a test today. I can't do another one.
Listen, it should be simple, should be fun, should be easy. Let's see. So, Lindsay, finish this sentence. Destroy the earth, destroy our enemies, rise up.
Oh God. No, I know it. Shit. I'm gonna pass. I'm passing.
Oh, Lindsay, strike one. All right. Oh, wow, I thought you would get that. All right. Who did I say was next? I said G95, or was it you, JR?
It was JR.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing you. That was another trivia right there. JR, finish this sentence. Destroy the earth, destroy our enemies, rise up.
To infinity and beyond.
Oh, man. On principle, that's a strike, but you're going to get half a point. That was fucking good. And G95, finish this sentence. Destroy the earth, destroy our enemies, rise up.
I got nothing. I have no idea.
That's another...
What movie is it from?
I can't tell you that, then you know the answer. Now...
I mean, can you say it's Toho? Can you say it's Warner Brothers? Like, something.
It's time for G73 to go.
Because I need to know which movie, which franchise I need to think. Is it Godzilla?
Well, yeah. So here we go. Finish the sentence.
Damn it.
Destroy the earth. Destroy our enemies. Rise up.
destroy the earth, destroy our enemies, rise up. Well, I got to think about that for a second.
There's something that comes right after rise up. You have to finish that sentence.
I know, and I need to think. That's why I need to know which movie is it.
And I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. That's a dead giveaway.
Man, I think I know it now too.
Oh, you think you know it? All right. Well, if
Yeah.
G73 strikes out, which he shouldn't, honest to God, he's striking out.
Now that you're saying I shouldn't strike out, that's putting more of a stress on me.
Oh man, you've got 30 seconds.
Come on, Chase, win it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I can't know without knowing what movie it is.
Oh my
so
God! All four of you strike out. I'll tell you who would have gotten it. I'm pretty sure Anthony would have got it. I'm just saying. This. Okay, wait, JL, you think you got it?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. What the hell?
All right, finish this sentence. Destroy the earth. Destroy our enemies. Rise up.
We're gonna fight to the last man, baby, from Invasion of Astro Monster.
No.
Damn it!
Your half a point is now gone.
Hey, it was a good guess.
It was a good guess, but so
It sounds Showa.
it's totally Showa,
Damn it!
and it is
I
totally.
knew it was so, but I didn't know what movie.
Here we
I
go.
can destroy all monsters.
No, it's not. Here we go. Destroy the earth. Destroy our enemies. Rise up, Megalon!
Fuck!
God damn it!
Yes, G73.
Now I can perfectly pinpoint that in my head, and I know exactly what that is. The way, if you would have said it exactly like that with tone,
No,
I would have known.
I know
You
everybody.
should have shown a picture.
Everybody would have
Guy with
gotten
the
it.
mustache.
Oh, that's right. His name. I think his
And I
name
know
is
that
Sebastian.
scene too. I know the Seatopians and all that. Rise up, Megalon, and then boom.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of my favorite.
Okay, all right. I'm getting the juices flowing. Let's do another one. Come on.
Oh no! You guys didn't get that one. There is no more for today. Your homework is get on your knowledge. We'll do a Godzilla trivia next week. Anyhow, listen. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are over the line, and we're gonna shut it down. So, G95, thank you for joining us today.
Of course, glad to be here.
Absolutely. Lindsay, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. JR, once again, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. And Chase, thank you again for joining us.
It's good to be back. Had a good time talking about all this today.
Yeah. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank everybody here for joining us on the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1, and we'll see you next week. Peace.